Oh, first one, I'll read it.
Okay.
I hear in the show that the bats, you can answer this, generally do not look at Vega. So I am trying to understand why you need to look at this. It would seem if you were always selling options, you will be short. And being short, you would have negative Vega. I really don't understand why it is being portrayed as relevant as the major impacts are of delta and theta, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? What's the gossip with Vega? Why don't you talk about it? Why do we need it? Why don't we need it?
Vega, and you can group theta into this as well. Like they're good to know and understand and know the effects of those things on your positions and portfolio as a whole. But it's really hard to focus on those as a risk parameter. Like Vega, I'm generally short Vega. When volatility increases, it's usually not good for my current.
Because we sell premium by default. That's what you're doing.
Something that has short volatility component to it. I mean, diagonal spreads and stuff like that is gonna dull that a little bit. But the bottom line is that Vega there isn't a denominator for Vega. Like Delta, you can beta weight it. SPY's down. I'm long. 200 SPY beta weighted Delta. I'm having a rough day. Like that's an easy thing to understand. Vega is different because each stock is going to have different things that are going to affect the volatility of that underlying binary events, news, etc. So like you can't beta weight Vega. It just is what it is. Like if you are selling premium, you are short Vega. If you are buying premium or doing diagonal spreads, you're kind of neutral to flat.
And Vega's the rate of change of delta, right? I mean,
rate of change of options price via volatility.
Via volatility, correct. And if you want to look at Vega, you have it right on the tastytrade platform. I just have GC up there. You can have it under anything. You just click on one of your columns that you have here, and you go to Vega, and there's all your Vega. So if you really want to see it, you can have it there. By default, you got to pick a team.
Yeah.
If you're selling premium, you're going to be short Vega. If you're buying premium, you're going to be long Vega.
For sure.
Next one, please.
When you have an event you want to trade like last night where the president was speaking but markets are closed, are futures your only choice?
Yeah. I mean,
do FX.
What's that?
FX products too.
Yeah, you have FX products too. Sure. I mean, even S&Ps were unchanged, down 10, 15, something like that while the president was speaking and slowly sold off. People were trading it. I got emails from people trading it, making 20 handles, losing 5 handles, making 15 handles, and losing 20 handles. I mean, people were trading it all night long. If you had a long delta position, you had plenty of opportunities to use the futures and get as small as you like. Yeah. You can use the micros that are about 100 shares of stock.
For sure.
So if you beta weight your position and you have 200-300 long deltas in SPY and you want to reduce it, you sell one micro and see where the chips fall. But your position becomes heavier on that side if you go 1-to-1. Like if you have 300 long delta coming in and you sell 3 micro futures, which gives you 0 deltas on SPY, as we go lower, you're going to pick up some delta, but not as much as those futures. The futures become the heavier part of it. But so we usually reduce by 50%, like we always do. It would help, not enhance the position.
For sure.
But futures are your only choice.
Yes.
Next one, please.
What do you mean?
What do you mean when you say it's a trader's market?
I think what you're seeing right now is a trader's market. You're having two-sided action, huge moves in a variety of products, changes in volatility. I mean, that is a trader's market. The grind up every single day, 2017, 2018 markets, those are not trading markets.
Yeah.
So trader's market, you got to be nimble, you got to be quick.
Jack, be nimble, Jack, be quick. Next one, please.
Yes.
Last one.
I keep reading that the situation with Iran could cause lower yield in commodities like soybeans or wheat, but the effect will be closer to September. So you're saying down the curve. My assumption is prices will rise later this year. How can I trade that?
I mean,
it's a hard one. A lot of things are going to change.
Here, we just talked about oil backwardation. You have the opposite here. I've just pulled up wheat. You got, to your point, wheat lower in the front month, higher in the back month. So the market,
you're not the only one thinking that.
The market's already portraying that. So I don't know if there's a thing you could take advantage. Like if you had that opinion in oil, I could say, wow, pricing is completely different than your opinion here that you have. You could take advantage of it. I don't think there's anything you can take advantage of there, but you can place your bets.
Yeah,
Maybe you think it's going to happen a little bit sooner, so you go in the 50-day options.
Yeah, I got in a long natty gas position yesterday further out.
I don't hate that. I mean, with oil, and I haven't looked at net.
But I think this is how you play it. Is like unless you're a futures trader, that's your thing. I bought an out of the money call spread.
Okay.
Further out in time. Like you want to play for higher prices, you got to have some sort of short premium component to it because we all know that it's hard to pick direction perfectly correct. So I think that's the way you do it. Sell a put to buy a call spread.
Yep.
That sort of trade is how you take advantage of it.